did we end up here?
Emmanuel Lubezki is one of the most celebrated cinematographers of the 21st century.
Emmanuel Lubezki. Chivo.
Emmanuel Lubezki.
And is behind countless jaw-droppingly beautiful shots. What makes Lubezki cinematography so instantly impactful? What are the elements that go into his signature look? This is the cinematography style of Emmanuel Lubezki. In the early 2000s, Lubezki's style began to become more singular, and he began to see wider recognition for his work on movies like Y tu mama tambien, The New World, Children of Men, The Tree of Life, and The Revenant. But even though he has his own distinct look, Chivo insists that his cinematography is always in service of the individual movie he's on.
Usually the style doesn't come from me. It comes from the script, from the directors, from the locations where you shoot, etc. But mostly from what the directors need to tell their story. The cinematographer's job is really to help them translate their ideas into images, and that's what I try to do.
With this caveat in mind, let's look at the qualities we see again and again in Lubezki's work, regardless of the project. Beginning with natural light. For Lubezki, everything begins with lighting.
The light is almost like a fabric that is underneath the whole movie that contains everything, that gives it the mood. This is like the broth that contains the soup.
In the 2000s, Lubezki was given the creative freedom to push his lighting approach in a new direction, relying primarily on natural light. For Lubezki, the effect natural light has on an image can't be recreated artificially.
When you start using natural light, it's so complex. When you put somebody in front of a window, you're getting a reflection from the blue sky and the clouds and the sun bouncing. You get all these colors and different qualities of light. When you put an HMI and diffusion, you reduce that to a very narrow spectrum of color, and it feels different.
Of course, natural light can vary drastically. For Lubezki, choosing what kind of natural light you want for a scene is crucial.
Different times of the day express different emotions, and depending on the location. Some of the locations make you feel sad, and some of them make you feel lonely, and some of them make you joyful.
Natural light also means less control, which can make planning difficult. This forces Chivo to often have to improvise with what the light is giving him, and to discover fleeting beauty wherever he may find it.
You cannot set up the scenes, you cannot set up nature to do what it does. You have to find it. And by not having the lights around us and the equipment around us, we are able to find these moments.
The lack of control over natural light means Lubezki has to be constantly adapting to what is in front of him. Of course, not every scene can rely solely on natural light, but Chivo maintains a similar ethos when approaching artificial lighting, typically relying on practicals, or trying to replicate sources of natural light, like windows. And Lubezki's approach to lighting works hand in hand with his complex mobile camera work. Lubezki's camera is almost always on the move, either fully handheld or on a Steadicam. This movement gives Chivo Cinematography an improvisatory, almost docu-style feel. And sometimes this is in fact the case. But Lubezki's camera work isn't always so run and gun, even if it may seem like it. On many films, his camera movement is rooted in lots of rehearsals and planning. This was the case on The Revenant.
There were a couple of methodologies we used to shoot the film, and one was extensive rehearsal time. And I think we probably rehearsed it a month or more than a month. And during those rehearsals is when we find the language of the film and the blocking, and during those rehearsals we learn also what kind of gear we want to use.
Planned or unplanned, Lubezki typically uses a moving camera to change the perspectives within a single shot, which he argues is made possible also by using wider lenses.
Let's use these wide lenses to be able to shift the point of views, to go from a subjective shot to an objective, and then to the subjective of another character. And I think that way you get immersed.
Because his camera is always shifting point of views, Lubezki is able to merge what would typically be several shots into one, which has made him the master of the oneer. Lubezki's approach to camera movement and natural lighting deeply influences his equipment choices. For much of his career, Chivo, like many other cinematographers, was skeptical of digital cameras. This remained the case even after he shot on digital for some of Michael Mann's Ali. He explains, cameras were low resolution, 4-band images with all sorts of video issues, but Michael saw something in digital that he could not get on film, and he wanted to be able to express that. And he maintains that, I think Michael jumped too early. But as digital technology progressed, Chivo became one of its highest profile advocates. For Chivo, choosing the right camera is about experimenting and pushing boundaries. On The Revenant, he went a step further, utilizing an Alexa M, which splits the sensor of the camera from its recording device. He explains that you love it because it's lighter and allows you to get to places that the other cameras don't. For Lubezki, digital cameras perfectly suit his mobile style. Digital is also ideal for shooting in natural light. The cinematographer explains his experience on The Revenant.
We had already sent film back to Hollywood because film was just not getting what we were trying to do. It's not sensitive enough, and it was getting rainy, and we were shooting very, very late. There's a lot of shots in the movie that are past dusk, very late. So the digital cameras were able to give us a beautiful, very clean, immersive image.
On The Revenant, this meant using the Alexa 65, which had not technically hit markets yet. For all of his distinctive flourishes, Lubezki, at his core, is a visual storyteller, whose decisions are based on the specific film he's working on. And in the end, isn't that the job of every great cinematographer? Goodbye for now. Remember, beauty's everywhere. You just need to look.
Hello! Surf's up! Yeah!